Have you ever noticed how, in the rush of modern life, we often feel compelled to move, constantly, urgently, relentlessly? To change jobs, switch projects, alter plans, or seek new experiences whenever discomfort or uncertainty arises. It's as if staying still, remaining steadfast amidst the turmoil, has become a rarity, even something to fear. Yet, what if the greatest strength lies precisely in the act of staying put, in the courageous choice to endure rather than escape? Imagine for a moment that success isn't a destination reached by constant movement, but a garden cultivated through patient tending, season by season. This idea is not new. It's a truth that ancient Stoics understood deeply. They faced a world far harsher and more chaotic than our own, and yet, their wisdom echoes loudly through the centuries. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, philosopher, and leader. His reign was marked by war, plague, political intrigue, and personal loss. And yet, through all this, Marcus remained steadfast, not because he was unfeeling or unshakable, but because he chose to stay grounded amid chaos. Calm is the strength to remain when everything inside urges you to run. Imagine Marcus, surrounded by turmoil, grappling with enemies at the gates and the weight of empire on his shoulders, yet still rising each day to meet his duties with clarity and resolve. He did not flee from his troubles, nor did he waste energy on what he could not control. Instead, he anchored himself in purpose and acceptance. This was no passive resignation, it was a deliberate, courageous act of endurance. So now I'll ask you, when have you felt tempted to abandon your path because the way became difficult? Perhaps a career setback, a relationship strain, or the relentless pressure of expectations nudged you toward giving up. What might have happened if, instead, you had chosen to stay, rooted like a tree weathering a storm, bending but not breaking? This is the first principle of staying committed through life's turbulence. Endurance is not mere stubbornness, but a strength born from clarity and purpose. Often, our culture glorifies change for its own sake, as if movement equals progress. But the Stoics teach us that sometimes, the truest progress is the quiet perseverance to remain, to hold fast to what matters even when the path is obscured. Let me share a story to illustrate this. Imagine a young artist in Renaissance Florence, immersed in a world of uncertainty and fierce competition. She faces rejection after rejection, her work misunderstood or overlooked. The temptation to abandon her craft, to seek an easier life, looms large. But she remembers the words of a mentor: great art is not made in bursts of frenzy but in the patient layering of brushstroke upon brushstroke. She chooses to stay, to endure the seasons of doubt and frustration. And through this steadfastness, she eventually creates a masterpiece that endures for centuries. This story is more than just a metaphor. It reveals how staying is an active choice, one that requires courage and intention. You don't have to move forward by leaps and bounds every day. Sometimes, the greatest achievement is the decision to remain present, to face the discomfort head-on, and to keep showing up. But why is staying so difficult? Because it often feels like passivity, like surrender. In a world that prizes action and results, waiting can seem like failure. Yet, the Stoics remind us that true strength lies not in frantic motion but in measured, intentional endurance. It's the difference between a leaf blown aimlessly by the wind and a tree whose roots grow deep, anchoring it firmly no matter the storm. Have you ever noticed how the deepest growth happens beneath the surface, unseen and gradual? The roots of a tree don't race to the sunlight, they dig patiently into the earth, searching for nourishment. So too must we cultivate our inner resilience, even when progress feels invisible. Calm is the choice to remain when immediate results elude you. Let go of the urge to flee the discomfort of waiting, because in that stillness, something vital is taking root. This is not the absence of action but the presence of purposeful endurance. So now I'll ask you, what might be possible if you embraced staying as a form of strength rather than a weakness? If you saw endurance not as a burden but as a path to clarity and resilience? Every time you choose to stay committed, even when the path is uncertain and the outcome unclear, you move closer to a success that is deep, lasting, and profoundly your own. Imagine life's pressures, career setbacks, personal struggles, societal expectations, as waves crashing against a steadfast rock. The rock doesn't move with the waves, it absorbs their energy, stands firm, and shapes the shore over time. You don't have to be swept away by every challenge. You can choose to stand firm. This is the heart of the Stoic practice of endurance, not to resist change blindly but to remain grounded in what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your attitudes, while accepting the ebb and flow of external events. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. What power do you have today to stay rooted in your purpose, no matter the external chaos? Consider your own life storms. What if, rather than fleeing or reacting impulsively, you pause to ask, what is within my control here? How can I remain steadfast in the face of uncertainty? This shift in perspective transforms staying from passive waiting into active engagement with life's challenges. Calm is the quiet courage to face the storm without losing yourself. Let go of the idea that you have to run from discomfort to find peace. Sometimes, peace is found precisely by remaining, by accepting the moment as it is and choosing endurance over escape. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to rush toward the next big thing. What you do have is the ability to stay, to endure, to cultivate patience as a form of strength. Remember, every great achievement in history has roots in this kind of steadfastness. Whether it's a philosopher writing meditations in prison, an artist perfecting their craft over years, or a leader guiding a nation through crisis, the common thread is not frantic movement but calm endurance. So now I'll ask you one more time, when you face your next challenge, will you resist the urge to run? Will you embrace the power of staying, trusting that in the soil of persistence, something remarkable will grow? There is a profound freedom in this choice. Freedom not from hardship, but freedom within hardship. Freedom to stand firm, to act with intention, and to discover that the path to success is often paved not by changing course, but by holding steady. You don't have to be swept away by every wave. You don't have to abandon your path at the first sign of difficulty. Calm is the strength to stay. And in that calm, you will find your true power. Imagine, for a moment, that patience is not a passive waiting but an active, powerful force. Have you ever found yourself growing restless when progress feels slow? Perhaps a promotion at work seems endlessly delayed, or a personal goal feels just out of reach despite your best efforts. In those moments, impatience can creep in like a shadow, whispering doubts and urging shortcuts. But what if embracing patience, steadfast, deliberate patience, could transform your experience and your outcome? The Stoics teach us that patience is more than enduring hardship, it is a conscious commitment to stay the course over time, accepting what we cannot change immediately while continuing to act where we can. This is not resignation but purposeful endurance. Imagine patience as a steady flame, burning quietly yet persistently, lighting your way through the fog of uncertainty. Let go of the illusion that success must come quickly, or that delayed gratification is a sign of failure. Scientific research supports what the Stoics intuited long ago: patience strengthens the mind, reduces stress, and enhances our ability to achieve long-term goals. When you cultivate patience, you're not merely waiting, you're building resilience, sharpening focus, and aligning your actions with a vision that spans beyond the immediate moment. So now I'll ask you, how often do you find yourself distracted by outcomes beyond your control? You may pour energy into worrying about the reactions of others, market fluctuations, or unpredictable life events. Here lies the Stoic dichotomy of control, an idea both simple and profound. You have authority over your own choices, your mindset, and your actions. Outcomes, external forces, and other people's opinions, those lie beyond your power. When you invest your energy only in what you control, you conserve strength and cultivate peace. Imagine rowing a boat on a stormy sea. You cannot calm the waves, but you can steer your vessel with steady hands. This is the essence of Stoic acceptance, embracing reality as it is, not as you wish it to be, while diligently navigating your course. Consider the everyday example of slow career advancement. It's easy to feel frustrated or disheartened when promotions or recognition don't arrive as swiftly as hoped. Impatience tempts us to act rashly, jumping ship too soon or cutting corners. But the Stoic approach guides you to reframe setbacks not as failures but as integral parts of a larger journey. Each challenge becomes a lesson, each delay an opportunity to refine your skills and deepen your resolve. Calm is the steady hand that nurtures patience. Let go of the urge for instant results, and instead, focus on consistent, intentional effort. Imagine a sculptor patiently chipping away at marble, day after day, knowing that the masterpiece emerges only through dedication over time. You don't have to see the final shape immediately, your task is to persist. Practical advice for cultivating patience begins with mindfulness. When impatience arises, pause and ask, is this within my control? What action can I take right now that aligns with my goals? This moment of reflection shifts you from reactive frustration to proactive engagement. It's a small but powerful habit that rewires your brain toward endurance. Another technique is to practice gratitude for the process itself. Instead of fixating solely on the destination, appreciate the growth occurring along the way. Each step, no matter how small, contributes to your progress. Imagine a gardener who finds joy not only in the harvest but in the tending, the watering, the pruning, the waiting for seeds to sprout. The Stoics remind us that endurance is not a solitary endeavor but a mindset that thrives in community and reflection. Sharing your journey with trusted friends or mentors can provide perspective and encouragement during times of slow progress. They can remind you that patience is a virtue cultivated through shared experience and mutual support. Let go of the misconception that patience equates to passivity. It is, in truth, one of the most active forms of engagement with life. You're choosing to remain steadfast, focused, and resilient in the face of delayed outcomes. Imagine a river carving a canyon, not by rushing, but by persistent flow over centuries. Your patient efforts shape your destiny in similarly transformative ways. So now I'll ask you, how might your life change if you embraced patience as a daily practice? What could you achieve if you redirected your mental energy from anxiety about results to deliberate action within your control? The path to success is rarely a sprint, it is a marathon paced by endurance and guided by acceptance. Science affirms that patience is linked to better decision-making and emotional regulation. When you cultivate patience, you reduce impulsivity and increase your capacity to handle setbacks gracefully. This mental clarity enhances your ability to stay committed over the long haul, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Calm is the recognition that the journey itself holds wisdom. Let go of the need to rush or force outcomes, and instead, immerse yourself in the steady rhythm of persistent effort. Imagine each day as a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, some strokes bold, others subtle, but each essential to the whole masterpiece. You don't have to control everything. You don't have to see immediate results. What you can do is nurture patience, focus on your actions, and accept the unfolding of events beyond your grasp. Remember, the Stoics didn't promise an easy road, they offered a roadmap for navigating difficulty with grace and strength. Patience is one of the most vital tools on this path. By cultivating it, you build a foundation not only for success but for peace and resilience. So now I'll ask you one more time, when impatience rises, will you choose to pause, reflect, and persist? Will you accept what you cannot change while steadfastly working toward what you can influence? In doing so, you embody the Stoic ideal, endurance as an active, empowering force. Imagine the possibilities that open when you commit to this practice. Not only do you move steadily toward your goals, but you also cultivate a mind resilient to the inevitable challenges of life. This is patience not as passive waiting, but as purposeful, persistent action. Calm is the flame of patience that lights your way through uncertainty. Let go of the rush, and instead, embrace the power of steady, enduring commitment. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, one patient step at a time. Have you ever noticed how, in the midst of life's noise and chaos, moments of stillness can feel like a refuge, a rare and precious space where clarity emerges? In our fast-paced world, where distractions pull us in every direction, the idea of staying also invites us to create room for reflection and self-awareness. This is not just a pause but an active, powerful practice that deepens our capacity to endure and succeed. Calm is the art of stillness, of turning inward to connect with what truly matters. Imagine a lake, its surface disturbed by a sudden breeze, only to settle again into perfect calm. That stillness allows you to see clearly beneath the surface, to perceive the depths that are otherwise hidden. So too, when you cultivate moments of reflection, you gain insight into your emotions, your values, and your goals. The Stoics were masters of this practice. Marcus Aurelius, for example, wrote his meditations not as a public manifesto, but as a private journal, a daily exercise in examining his thoughts and aligning his actions with his principles. This habit of reflection strengthened his mind, enabling him to face immense challenges without losing composure or direction. So now I'll ask you, when was the last time you truly paused, not just physically, but mentally, to reflect on your journey? To consider what you're feeling beneath the surface and why? This kind of introspection is not indulgence, it is a vital tool for resilience. Psychological research supports this ancient wisdom. Studies show that regular reflection and journaling improve emotional regulation, reduce impulsivity, and enhance decision-making. When you create space to observe your thoughts without judgment, you increase your ability to respond to life's challenges calmly and thoughtfully rather than reacting out of stress or habit. Let go of the misconception that staying still means stagnation. Instead, think of stillness as fertile ground where your inner strength grows. Imagine a gardener who pauses between seasons not to rest idly but to nourish the soil, preparing it for new growth. In this way, reflection transforms waiting into active engagement with your life. Calm is the clarity that arises when you align your actions with your deepest values rather than external pressures. In moments of stillness, you can discern which challenges deserve your energy and which are distractions. This discernment is crucial because it directs your efforts where they will be most effective. Practice cultivating this stillness daily. Set aside time for journaling, meditation, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. Ask yourself, what have I learned today? How did I respond to difficulties? What can I adjust to align more closely with my goals and values? These questions create a dialogue with yourself, fostering self-awareness and mental fortitude. Imagine the power of approaching each day with this reflective mindset. When setbacks occur, instead of reacting impulsively, you pause to consider, what is within my control here? How can I respond wisely? This pause, brief as it might be, interrupts the cycle of stress and opens the door to calm. You don't have to navigate life's complexities alone. Sharing reflections with a trusted friend or mentor can provide new perspectives and reinforce your commitment to growth. The community is not just a source of support but a mirror that helps you see more clearly. Let go of the fear that stillness is wasted time. It is, in fact, the foundation of resilience. When you develop the habit of reflection, you build a mind capable of enduring uncertainty without losing sight of your purpose. This mental strength is what allows you to stay committed over the long haul. So now I'll ask you, how might your life change if you embraced moments of stillness as essential to your success? If you viewed reflection not as a pause from action, but as a vital part of it. In this calm, you find the resources to move forward with greater wisdom and resolve. Science tells us that emotional regulation, the ability to manage our feelings and impulses, is key to achieving long-term goals. Reflection is the gateway to this regulation. By observing your internal experience without judgment, you create space for choice rather than reaction. Calm is the steady presence that holds you during life's storms. Let go of the urge to fill every moment with activity or distraction. Instead, embrace the power of stillness to recharge your mind and realign your purpose. Imagine a ship that navigates not by constant speed but by steady, thoughtful course corrections. Your life, too, benefits from these moments of mindful pause. You don't have to rush to the next task or solution. You don't have to force clarity to appear. What you can do is cultivate the habit of returning to yourself, of observing with kindness and curiosity. Remember, the Stoics didn't see reflection as luxury but as necessity. It is the tool that transforms challenges from obstacles into opportunities for growth. When you engage in this practice, you strengthen your capacity to endure and succeed. So now I'll ask you one more time, will you create space for stillness in your daily life? Will you allow yourself to reflect deeply, to listen to your inner voice amid the noise? In doing so, you embrace a form of staying that is dynamic, transformative, and deeply empowering. Imagine the impact of this practice over weeks, months, years. Each moment of reflection builds your resilience, sharpens your focus, and deepens your understanding of what truly matters. This is how staying becomes not just endurance, but a path to lasting success. Calm is the stillness that reveals your strength. Let go of the fear of inactivity, and instead, embrace reflection as your ally. Your journey is richer, clearer, and more purposeful when you make space to truly stay. Have you ever observed how focus can transform scattered effort into powerful progress? It's one thing to endure, to stay committed through challenges, but it's another to harness that endurance with intentional direction. Imagine a spotlight cutting through darkness, illuminating a path that was once hidden. This is the power of focused intention, an essential force that turns mere persistence into purposeful action. Calm is the discipline to direct your attention where it matters most. Let go of the temptation to disperse your energy across countless distractions, each promising quick results but delivering only fatigue. Instead, cultivate habits that sharpen your focus and clarify your intentions, guiding your persistence with precision. Consider the story of an individual facing prolonged challenges, perhaps a long-term project met with obstacles, delays, and doubts. Many would see only frustration and give up, but this person chose a different path. Through disciplined focus, they transformed adversity into opportunity. By setting clear intentions and managing attention, they turned what seemed like endless waiting into a period of growth and achievement. So now I'll ask you, how do you currently direct your mental energy? Is it scattered among worries, distractions, and reactive impulses? Or is it harnessed deliberately, aligned with your deeper purpose and goals? The Stoics teach that our minds are like gardens. Without careful tending, weeds of distraction and doubt take root, choking out the seeds of progress. But with mindful cultivation, through practices like visualization, mindful breathing, and setting clear intentions, you create fertile ground for growth. Visualization, for example, is more than wishful thinking. It's a mental rehearsal that primes your brain for action, builds confidence, and strengthens resolve. Imagine yourself navigating challenges with calm and clarity, achieving your goals step by step. This mental exercise aligns your subconscious with your conscious efforts, making your persistence more effective. Mindful breathing is another powerful tool. When stress mounts and focus wavers, returning to the breath anchors you in the present moment. This simple practice calms the mind, reduces anxiety, and renews your capacity to stay committed. Setting clear intentions daily acts as a compass, reminding you why you stay the course. When you wake each morning, ask yourself, what is my purpose today? Which actions will move me closer to my goals? This clarity filters out distractions and energizes your efforts. Calm is purposeful persistence, not passive waiting. Let go of the notion that success comes from mere endurance. Instead, see staying as an active, empowered choice, one guided by a calm and directed mind. Imagine the difference between a ship adrift and one sailing with a clear destination and steady hands on the wheel. Your focus is the captain steering your course, turning endurance into achievement. You don't have to wait idly for success to arrive. You can engage each day with intention, directing your mental energy toward meaningful action. This is how staying rooted becomes a dynamic, creative force. Remember, prolonged challenges are not obstacles but invitations to deepen your practice of focus and intention. They teach you to manage your attention wisely, to resist the pull of distractions, and to cultivate habits that sustain motivation over time. So now I'll ask you, what habits can you adopt today to enhance your focus? How might visualization, mindful breathing, or setting daily intentions change your experience of persistence? Science supports these practices. Research shows that focused attention improves emotional regulation, increases productivity, and fosters resilience. When you manage your mental energy effectively, you amplify the benefits of endurance. Calm is the steady guidance that transforms staying into succeeding. Let go of scattered effort and embrace the power of directed focus. Imagine your energy as a beam of light, narrowed, intense, and illuminating the path forward. You don't have to be overwhelmed by the chaos around you. You don't have to drift aimlessly through challenges. What you can do is choose where to place your attention, cultivating habits that strengthen your resolve and clarify your purpose. Remember the story of that individual who turned prolonged difficulty into triumph. Their secret was not just endurance, but focus, the ability to harness their mental energy with intention and calm. This is within your reach, too. So now I'll ask you one more time, will you cultivate the discipline to direct your focus? Will you embrace visualization, mindful breathing, and clear intentions as tools to empower your persistence? In doing so, you transform staying into active, purposeful progress. Imagine the possibilities that open when your endurance is guided by a calm, focused mind. You become not just a survivor of challenges but a creator of success. This is the essence of the Stoic path, staying committed, not through scattered effort, but through intentional, empowered action. Calm is the captain of your journey. Let go of distraction, and steer your course with steady focus. Your inner strength and your success await your deliberate choice to stay, to focus, and to act with purpose.